welcome back to Wake Up and Live with the Arts. I'm Gary Webster along with Sue Johnson and Karen Shepard. And our guest on this segment of the program is Diane Coates. Diane, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you with us. And Sue has all the information about you, so I will defer to my senior partner.
And then I'm going to give it right to Diane to say, Diane, welcome. And as a representative of the Mount Pleasant community, tell us who you are and what you do in the Mount Pleasant community, because you do so much there.
Thank you very much. Again, my name is Diane Coates, and I'm site coordinator for a federally funded program called Weed and Seed. Weed and Seed is sponsored by the U.S. Department of Justice through their Community Capacity Development Office. Contrary to its name, it's not a gardening program.
Everybody thinks that. I did when we first got involved with each other. I thought Weed and Seed was a garden program.
Right. With Weed and Seed, we weed out the crime and we seed the community with new and innovative programs. We work with the law enforcement officials in Mount Pleasant, as well as the United States the Sheriff's Office, City of Cleveland, and other organizations that come to help us with our strategy. Weed and Seed is a strategy. It's not a program. In Cleveland, we have 3 Weed and Seed initiatives. One is Mount Pleasant, one is Central, and one is Detroit Shoreway. There is a 4th one that's been around for about 10 years, which was Euclid. We've been in the community for 4 years. Our strategy lasts for 5 years. We have a 5-year strategy. Initiated in 2006. We brought about 150 residents to the table to talk about the challenges that we face in our community. And we were able to convince the federal government that we needed resources and we needed help and assistance. So that was the inception of our Weed and Seed. It's controlled by a steering committee. The steering committee is 2/3 residents, 1/3 organizations. The residents always have control of all the resources that we get. I did mention that there are 300 Weed and Seed sites.
Around the country.
Around the country.
Yes.
Okay. With Cleveland having the most sites, 4 sites in Cleveland, most only have 1. Our focus is law enforcement, community policing. We call it PIT, Prevention, Intervention, Treatment, and Neighborhood Vitalization. Okay. However, in the Mount Pleasant community, we focus on reentry, at-risk youth, and economic development.
And that's how I got involved with Diane, primarily with the at-risk youth component of her program. And the whole purpose, again, this is like but it is a New You for a New Life segment. Again, Lester and I work with Diane in her projects, and the idea is you are in the business of helping the Mount Pleasant community transform itself into being the kind of positive community with contributing members of the community. And one component of your program is the at-risk teen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And how is that going? How are you doing with some of your programs, your various programs? I know some of it comes under the Mount Pleasant Business Association, and some of it comes under Weed and Seed. And you know what? This is like with the Fatherhood Initiative. They've got so many programs. I cannot keep it straight. But it's because so much good stuff is happening. And Diane, as I said, is involved in so many aspects of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. With the at-risk youth, we have four major projects. Number one, we do youth entrepreneurism. Okay, we do provide summer jobs for youth within the businesses of the Mount Pleasant community. We also do curfew sweeps. We, along with the 4th District Police Department, we accompany them when they go out to bring children in past curfew, and we help them with when the parents come in. We welcome the parents, and we give them an alternative to come into a community service program that we sponsor in lieu of going to court and paying a fine. Also, we are in the Juvenile Detention Center as well as Cuyahoga Hills with mentoring for the young inmates.
So this is about support
and mentoring.
Support and mentoring. Okay. And when you mentor somebody, you are, hopefully you're serving as a role model and helping guide or navigate folks through the treacherous waters of life, no matter what level that may be. And it's somebody kind of, well, I'm going to say like the Fatherhood Initiative. It may not be actual dads of children, but somebody who can serve in the role of a dad for a teen or a mom for a teen.
Absolutely.
To help them get through life. And a lot of your programs are designed to keep folks from being in trouble with the law. If they've been in trouble, to see that they don't do it again.
Absolutely.
Hopefully,
That's
keep
right.
going back to it. And Diane and I got connected because I and Lester and I do some of our workshops with her program. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, we are funded by United Black Fund and Neighborhood Connections to do some of our work. And you get some grant funding for your programs. Who are some of your supporters?
Neighborhood Connections, the Earned Income Tax Coalition, IRS, United Technology. We got a complete technology center, I think worth about $36,000 when we first started Weed and Seed, to do volunteer income tax assistance. We also have support for the Mount Pleasant Business Association, and we developed a safe haven and an economic empowerment center. That is the hub for all of our Weed and Seed activity.
And I'm going to digress or divert just a little bit before we end up closing this segment already. But you are, among many hats that you wear, an entrepreneur. And we need to let our viewing audience know a little bit about what business you are in the business of now that we want the community to know about.
My company is Copies and More. It's a pretty one-stop small business support service center. At the present time, I'm not operating in the community, but I'm in the process of reorganizing, and I'll be opening on Broadway.
Yes.
We'll have a
My Broadway, where we will be performing great miracle and magical
I think this is
theater.
a different Broadway.
Is it different Broadway?
Broadway
Oh,
Avenue,
shucks.
Ohio. We're putting together a on-the-job placement training. On-the-job training and placement center for at-risk youth and their families.
Okay.
Maybe
Now-
we can perform in the front office of Diane, front window of Diane's business on Broadway.
And you know
Maybe we
what?
can do that.
I once did perform on Broadway, and it was a while before I discovered I was on 55th on Broadway.
It's a state of mind.
It's a state of mind.
It is.
And we need more than a state of mind for you. We need your contact information so that those who want to learn more about anything that you're doing with your own entrepreneurial endeavors, the Weed and Seed strategy, the Mount Pleasant Youth Business Projects, all of the things that you're involved in, how can folks get in contact with you?
Thank you very much, Sue. My contact number is 216-751-1085. That's my personal office. At the Economic Empowerment Center, it's 216-752-1464. We also have a website, www.mp-weedandseed.org.
Okay, you want to do that one more time?
www.mp-weedandseed.org.
Okay, and we'll have that up on the screen. Yes, Karen?
And someone who is interested in volunteering with your organization, would they contact you? Would you be the contact for that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And we look forward to as many volunteers as we can get.
And we have to say that even though this is a Mount Pleasant community activity, volunteers, you don't have to live in Mount Pleasant to help be a contributor to the good things that are going on in Mount Pleasant. So with that, we want to thank you, Diane. You and I have to work out our plans for our next round of workshops and activities that we'll be doing. So we want to thank you, and Karen, you're getting there. One of the things we do is, as I think I mentioned earlier, is help give folks the opportunity to go after things they aspire to and try things out, because we are a training organization along with performing arts and entertainment as well. So I'm getting the wrap sign from our illustrious videographer that it is time to end this segment, and I think at this point in time, correct me if I'm wrong, it's time to end this particular show. This is a wrap for this edition of Wake Up and Live with the Arts, and we want to thank all of our guests this evening.